Welcome back to FM Storey. We're approaching season 13 of The Save, and like last season, November has been a pretty horrible month for us. We've lost 3 of the last 4 in all competitions. We went out of the League Cup at the semi-final stage on penalties to Hibs. We got hammered by Rangers in the league, but we are still second in the table. We're only 3 points behind Rangers, and there's a bit of a cushion between us and the teams below us. So without further ado, let's get into the action and see if we can turn this form around. It's Boxing Day and we've got a home game, obviously at Hampden Park though this season against Celtic coming up. We are a point behind Rangers now at the top of the table because they've drawn a couple of games in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the end of the last episode, we hit a bad patch in November for the second season in a row. We won 1, drew 1 out of 6 in all competitions in November, which, given that that's happened 2 seasons in a row, we have gone and changed the tactic actually twice since then. But since the end of November, things have picked up a bit. We started with a 3-2 victory away at Dundee United. We were absolutely flying. We were 3-0 up after half an hour, and then they got 2 goals in the second half, and we struggled to hold on to the victory in that game. We then went away to Kilmarnock and won pretty comfortably 4-0. Both of those games we played the 4-2-4 wide formation, so basically 2 up front and 2 wingers with 2 in the centre of midfield. We started with that against Leipzig, but they were all over us, so we switched it after about 20-25 minutes and went to a 4-2-3-1. And that seems to have done wonders for us. We came away with a 2-0 victory away in Leipzig. We then won 3-0 at home against Falkirk. Celtic, we went away to in the league, and we were dominating the game until Fayette got himself a second yellow card right on half-time. And then the second half, with the extra man, they were able to pick us off. They scored. They actually had another goal disallowed for what was inches offside. And we came away with a 1-1 draw. And then in the most recent game, we went away to St Mirren and another comfortable 4-0 victory. What it means as far as the league's concerned is we are a point behind Rangers, as we said. We've got a better goal difference than them now. Now that we've got players back to fitness as well. One of the problems with the 4-2-4 is we started with loads of players that could play centre forward, and then rapidly they all picked up injuries, or the wide players picked up injuries. Now we've got mostly players back to full fitness. We are missing Fayette with suspension, and we've got a right back who's ill and won't be able to play against Celtic. But Casanova's top goal scorer in the league, followed by Cochise. Cochise has got the most assists in the league this season so far, and things are starting to look more promising. We have had a pretty decent run against Celtic in recent seasons. Obviously, we've drawn that game like a week ago, but now we've got like a home game, although it isn't at our home ground because of the redevelopment. We are playing Celtic, though, who are sat way down in 6th place this season. They've had a horrific start to the season. They're already 17 points off Rangers, 16 points off us, barely halfway through the season. So hopefully we can put in a performance with this home game and start to put some more pressure on Rangers at the top. This is the side we've picked to go into the game against Celtic. Basically, we're missing, I think, 3 of our first choice back 4. Milosavljevic is ill, so Martinez is playing right back. Fayette, obviously, as we said, is suspended, so San Martin is partnering Rackler at the back. And Thibaut had picked up a bit of a knock a couple of games ago, so he's not fully fit. So Fernandez Vinitsky is playing at left back. Other than that, it's probably what is our strongest team. We are, as we said, we have switched to the 4-2-3-1. So we've got 2 defensive midfielders. So basically the formations are going to cancel each other out. Obviously, as with any game that we've played against Celtic in the save, we need to keep Domina quiet, we need to keep home quiet. If we can do that, then we should have a pretty decent chance of picking up a victory. And you'd have to say, given where they are in the league and the disappointing season they had last season, Wayne Rooney presumably is on a bit of a shaky peg as manager. So hopefully, with a bit of home crowd behind us, we can get at them and get a result here. Right, a throw in for them early. Back to the centre half, into midfield. Casanova wins it, but they've still got it. Martinez back to San Martin. Back all the way to Medina. San Martin again. Nuevo keeping the ball pretty well. Not really progressing, but Casanova drops deep, finds Kerr. Fernandez-Vinitsky. Back to Rackler. So we're enjoying a decent spell of possession here. Goulis to Nuevo. Finds Cochise. Cuts inside. Dusink over the top for Nuevo. Dinks it into the box. And Casanova's got to be hitting the target from there. Right, that's a disappointment. Alan Kerr having to come off injured already. We did turn down a lot of offers for him in the summer, but he seems to be just injured all the time or picking up knocks all the time. So we might have to revisit moving him on again. They've attacked down the right. Fernandez-Vinitsky cuts it out. Rackler back to him down the left-hand side. Pascual, who's just come on, back to Goulis. Pascual again, driving infield. Cochise and the defender both went for it, both missed it. Nuevo into Casanova. And again, how has he not hit the target from there? Right, a corner for them, swung in on the left foot. Medina comes and claims it. And then goes short to San Martin. Out to Martinez up on the right. Down the line to Cochise, now cutting inside. Looking for Dusink in the middle of the pitch. Casanova again through. This time he's hit the bar. He should have had a hat-trick by now. Right, they've gone short with a free kick. Now they spread it wide. And they've got space to move into down the left, into the middle of the pitch. Home. Bugard looking to go down the outside. Pulls it back. The keeper and the defender between them block it. And we've managed to scramble it away. And there we are, half-time 0-0. And hopefully we're not going to regret those chances. We missed. Casanova should have had a hat-trick. 3 clear chances. And he's not hit the target with a single one of them. We need to be better in the second half. At least taking those chances. We've created a few. But we need to stick some of them away. We've not made a change to start the second half. We sent the same team out and hopefully they can take one of the chances they created. Dusink with a free kick. Goulis back to Dusink. Lifts it over looking for Nuevo. They've headed it clear. Martinez with it at the back now. To Pascual. Looking to go down the outside. Defender cuts him off, but strange clearance. Nuevo wide to Martinez, who goes past his man. Almost got to the byline, looked to pull it back. And it looks as though we're going to get a VAR check for a penalty. I mean, if it's not a penalty, we're not going to end up with a corner because we know how the game works. But no penalty. And then we lose the corner that we would have had. Right, they've gone short with a goal kick. We're pressing them fairly high, but they've kind of defeated that. Buonanotte down the left-hand side. Up against Martinez. Pulls it to home in the box. He jumps 5 foot in the air when no one makes a tackle and they're going to get a penalty. Thank God for that. I think I would have smashed the monitor at that stage. Right, a corner for them from the right. Medina came to clear it, got nowhere near it. They've headed it off the bar and we've scrambled it behind for another corner. We are being our worst enemy in this game. Corner from the left this time. Medina comes again. This time he does get it. And then quickly out to Fernandez-Vinitsky, but nothing's going to come of that attack. Right, Martinez with a throw down the right. Dusink loses out. They've then gone long, but only as far as San Martin. To Martinez, down the line to Cochise. He's got past his man, cutting into the box. And he's basically ran into a alley and it's gone behind for a corner, which Cochise himself will take. Short to Pascual. Whips a cross in. It's then pulled back. And now we've got a corner on the other side. Cochise to take from the left. This time outswinger towards the penalty spot. Rackless head is easy for the keeper and they get the game underway quickly. Right, a throw in. Thibault to take it. Short to Miller. He swings the cross in. It was a poor, a weak effort. The keeper managed to just turn it behind. Dusink to take the corner from the right. Swings it into the near post. Rackler's up there. We've got a goal, probably against the runner player in the second half, but we should have been well up in the first half. Dusink whips in the corner, low and flat to that near post. Rackler's header goes over the top of the keeper. It was too quick for him to get his hands up, and Dusink with another corner from the right. It's headed up in the air. San Martin tries to bring it down. Pascual's gone back to pick it up. Driving infield towards the edge of the area. Rackler to Martinez. Back to San Martin. Martinez going down the outside. Loses out. And then they've cleared. San Martin wins the header. Martinez back to San Martin. And Martinez to Miller. And there's Tala in off the right. Out to Nuevo on the left. Pulls it back for Dusink. And there we go. 2-0. A bit more comfortable now. It should keep us within a point of Rangers as long as they keep winning. But Tala drifted in. Lifted it over to Nuevo. Takes it on his chest. Just pulls it back. And there's Dusink about 7 or 8 yards out. Easy finish. And there we go, full time. Reasonably comfortable, although the second half wasn't great. I mean, we should have been 3-0 up pretty early on in that first half with the chances that Casanova missed, but eventually we were able to take the chances. We've come away with a 2-0 victory and we're still just 1 point behind Rangers at the top of the table. We are approaching the end of January, the end of the January transfer window. We've got big game coming up in the Champions League against Besiktas. We are currently sat 8th in the league phase, so as long as nothing goes too horrendously wrong, hopefully we should be able to secure a place in the top 8 so that we miss the knockout playoff round. There has been some activity in the transfer market since the window opened at the beginning of January. We've sold a couple of players, so we've sold Nicholas San Martin for 20 million to Aston Villa, and we've sold Hubanoff, who has been well outside of the first team picture all season. He's gone to Wolfsburg for 17.75 million, up to 21 million. And we've brought in a couple of players. So firstly, we picked up Hussein Mansour, 25-year-old Egyptian international, can play wide left at a push, can play through the middle if we need him as well. Just with the number of injuries that Alan Kerr's had this season, we needed to pick someone up because basically as soon as we signed him, Kerr was injured again. We did have a couple of other players that we tried to sign before this, but they either deals broke down or in one case the player decided that AC Milan was a better option than signing for us, which I don't see you can really blame him. And then we've also picked up Nicolas Leclam, who is really just someone who can play in the defensive midfield role. I think what we're probably looking at is moving Goulis back to left back, so that Thibault can be covering the centre of defence, and then Lecam can play in the defensive midfield alongside Nuevo. Just quality player, a bit older than the usual players we signed, just to add a bit of experience. We had agreed a deal to bring him in at the end of his contract. We decided to we had the cash in the transfer budget to bring it forward so that we get him straight away. And then since the Celtic game, things have gone really well. So first up was a 2-0 victory away at Livingston, followed up by a 3-0 victory at home against Aberdeen. And then we went to Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup and another 3-0 victory, all pretty comfortable. Marseille at home in the Champions League didn't look like it was going to be great. They scored after 2 minutes and it looked like we were all over the place to start that game. Casanova got an early penalty to pull us back, and then in the end we dominated and finished with a 4-1 victory. And in the last game we went away to Ross County, should have been well up at half time, ended up being 2-0 up. They pulled a goal back, but really it was only us that were doing the pressing at the end. We have had some injury issues in the last few weeks of the season. Medina is out for another couple of weeks still in goal. Villanueva, who has replaced him, has picked up a bit of a knock this week, so hopefully he's going to be fit to play against Besiktas. Cochise has picked up an injury, so he can't play wide right. So we have had a few issues. But as far as the league's concerned, we're back to the top of the table. We're a point ahead of Rangers. They've drawn a couple of games that has sort of let us back into this. We are top. We've got a bit of a better goal difference. And it's looking at the table, it's going to be between the two of us for the title. We're both well clear of Hearts. We're both well clear of Celtic as well. So we just need to kind of push on and carry on that form in the league. We've got a big game that will be coming up at the beginning of the next episode. We've got Rangers in the league, which is going to go quite a way to deciding what happens, I feel, because I think if we get a win with the form we've been in since we've changed the formation, we might end up kind of running away with it a bit, but it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, we've got the Champions League game coming up against Besiktas. We are guaranteed to be in the knockout stages. We are right on the edge of the top 8. I mean, if we do win, we'll be guaranteed a spot in the top 8. And hopefully we can do that. A couple of less games, make it past that knockout playoff round. But we'll have to see what we can do in this home game against Besiktas, who are still in with a chance of actually making it into the top 24 to qualify for the knockout stage. So they should really be going for it. But hopefully we've got enough at home. So this is the side we've picked for the game against Besiktas. Obviously we're missing Medina in goal, so Villanueva's playing in goal. He's not fully fit, so hopefully he lasts out. With Cochise missing, we're playing Kerr off the right with Mansour off the left. Kerr, obviously, as we said, has been injured as well. He's just back, so he might not be able to see the game out, but we do have some options on the bench if we need them. Right, so basically the same formations matching up against each other. Hopefully we can get off to a quick start at home. Right, they've got a throw early on, deep in our half. Ball's worked towards the box. We've gone back to the keeper who's dinked it out looking for Mansour, but it's going to come back at us here. And they've gone back to the halfway line, towards the edge of the box. Into the box now, and that's surely, I mean, it looks like the flag's up, but it must have been onside. Just from where the players were, it had to have been on. Oh, it's been disallowed. So the ball's worked out. Oh, he was well off in the end. Right, Goulis with a long throw from the left. Comes back to him from Rackler. Whips across, gets deflected. Milisavljevic to Faye. We're now going backwards. Goulis. Thibaut down the left-hand side. Looks to go around his man. In the end, works it into Mansour. It's pulled across. And now they're breaking with it. No, Nuevo wins it back. Looking to go round the outside. Drops back onto his favoured left foot. Pulls it back to Goulis on the edge of the box. Probably should have shot. Do sink into Nuevo. That's a goal. We had plenty of options to take shots before that. It's almost as if we've gone back to try to score the perfect goal. And, I mean, Goulis surely could have shot there. Out to Thibault, back to Goulis. Dusink with a lovely first-time ball. Casanova lets it run. And Nuevo puts us 1-0 up. Right, Goulis with a throw again. It's whipped towards the far post. The keeper comes and claims it. And then he goes long. Fayette wins the header. Dusink into Casanova, who's run off the ball. And then they go long again. This time Fayette takes it down on the chest. Finds Milosavljevic. Kerr is very weak on the ball. And now they're breaking through the middle of the pitch. But Goulis wins it back. Mansour into the box. And forces the keeper to turn it behind for a corner. Dusink to take the corner. Whips it into the near post. And it's headed over the top. Right, Thibault to Dusink. Goulis into Dusink. Back to Fayette. Wide, looking for Kerr. Takes it down well. Pulls it across. And Casanova couldn't sort his feet out in front of goal. Right, Dusink with a corner. Short. Mansour back to Dusink. It's worked out to Kerr on the edge of the box. And there's Rackler in the box to rifle it home. 2-0 up. And pretty comfortable so far. We went with the short one. Worked it back into Dusink. Nuevo back to Kerr. And then it comes to Rackler. He wasn't going to pass it about. Smashes it home. Right, they go long from another goal kick. Rackler wins the header. Casanova drops deep. Looks to find Mansour, but now they've cut it out. Back to Mansour on this left-hand side. Dusink into Nuevo in acres of space. Pushing the edge of the box. Let's fly. And he just couldn't hit the target from there. And there we go, half-time, 2-0 up. Doing a professional job just to make sure that we finish in that top 8. And more of the same in the second half. Right, they've got the ball just inside our half. They've worked a bit of space in the box. Comes back. And then Villanueva turns it behind for a corner. The first real thing he's had to do in the game. Corner comes in. It's headed up in the air. And then Kerr wins a foul in our box. Right, throwing for us Thibault to... Oh, it's given away there. But he gets back in there to win the ball back. Into midfield to Nuevo. Thaler on this right-hand side now. Looking to go on the outside. Infield to Nuevo. Goulis to Milosavljevic. Goulis back to Milosavljevic. Can we get the cross in the box? Pulls it to Nuevo. Back to Thaler. And somehow he's dragged that wide of the far post. Right, Goulis to take a throw. It's going to be a long one into the box by the looks of it. Fayette looks to flick it on. It comes to Pasquale on the edge of the box. He had a lot of bend on it, just couldn't bend it far enough to get it back on target. Right, Fayette into Goulis. Goulis again to Lennon Miller. Out to Milosavljevic. Low cross into the box. It eventually pops up for Cameron Holm just to prod home. 3-0, and that should be game over and guaranteed a place in the top 8 now. Miller to Milosavljevic. Down the outside. Fires the low cross in. It hits the defender coming over to cover from right back. And Holm prods it home for our third. Right, a throw for them. We've worked it towards the other box. And they've fired into the bottom corner. And Villanueva should have done better there. Luckily, it's too late really for them to get anything from this game. But it's a bit easy how they work the shot. First time effort. It did come through a bit of a crowd, but surely you should be getting down to save that. And there we go, full time, 3-1. Not our best performance of the season. We wasted quite a lot of chances, but it was a professional enough job. We've managed to finish in the top 8 of the Champions League, so we missed out on the knockout playoff round. We ended with 6 wins from 8, so I think based on how it went and how our season was looking in November, couldn't have asked for more than that. And now we've got a bit of a break to get the league form going again before we return to the Champions League. And there we go, the end of another episode. And it looks like we managed to come through that bad run of form that we had in November. We've been much better since then. We haven't lost a game since then. We've managed to make it into the last 16 in the Champions League. We're top of the table. We're still in the Scottish Cup. So plenty still to play for. Join us next time where we'll begin the episode with a big game away at Rangers in the league. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.